Good evening, I'm Nicole Wilson. I'm going to speak a little bit about the importance of phonological awareness and phonemic awareness as it relates to early reading and literacy development. So we'll begin with the definitions. Phonological awareness is the ability to work with sounds and recognize sounds in spoken language. An example of a phonological awareness skill would be able to pick out rhyming words in a story. Also, to pick out alliteration, which is sounds that you hear constantly repeating. For example, if I said big bears bounce on beds, the sound that's constantly repeating is the B sound. That's an example of a phonological awareness skill. Another phonological awareness skill is to pick out how many syllables are in a word. One small group activity I like to do to encourage phonological awareness is to have the children say their names. And once they say their names, we clap their name to find out how many parts are in their name. Phonemic awareness is the ability to isolate and then to blend individual sounds that are heard in words. For example, the word cat. The phonemic awareness ability is to pick out, to isolate each individual sound and then blend the sounds together to form the word cat. Phonemic awareness also, when a child has good phonemic awareness skills, they're also able to add a sound, to create a new word, to delete a sound, or to even substitute. For example, I said the word cat. The child would be able to substitute the k sound for the h sound and create a new word, hat, and so et cetera, et cetera. So when children begin to notice and work with the single sounds in words, they are able to then decode those words and to read those words. That's decoding is matching the sound with the letter or matching the letter with the sound that it makes. There are a few other skills that are important in early literacy development. One of those skills is print concepts, and that is the ability to know that a book is read from the front to the back. Also, there's a cover, there's a back, there's an author and an illustrator. When working with children in print concepts, it's also important for them to understand that words on a page are read from left to right and from top to bottom. So a small group activity that I would do with my students to encourage print awareness skills is to flip through a book. We'll talk about the cover of the book. We talk about the back of the book. We notice the pictures on the front. We talk about the author and the illustrator. And as we read the book, the children use their finger to track the words from left to right and then also from top to bottom as we read down the page. Letter naming is also another important skill in developing early literacy. Children when they're able to pick out and recognize letters, they're then able to make a correlation to the sounds that the letters make. A small group activity that I like to do with the children is to have them practice saying the letters that are in their name, pointing to each letter and saying the letter name and the sound that the letter makes. The children seem to like that activity. Vocabulary is another important skill for good readers. Good readers typically have a larger and more diverse vocabulary. A rich vocabulary encourages the natural curiosity in children. They want to know what these new words mean. Having a rich vocabulary also helps the child have background. So even if they're not able to read the word on a page, if they have the background, they're able to use context clues to help them figure out what a tricky word might be. Listening is another very important skill in developing early literacy in young children as they're able to listen and to hear the sounds that letters make. They're able to hear how words are spoken. Listening, a good listening activity that I like to do in a small group is to have the children will focus on a letter sound. And as I'm reading the story, we'll focus on beginning sounds. And as I'm reading the story, as the children hear that sound, they give me a thumbs up to let me know that they're able to recognize that sound. Speaking is another important area for children to develop early literacy skills. A speaking activity that I like to do in small groups with children is to have them recite a nursery rhyme. Lets them practice saying the words. They're saying the rhyming words, and just getting an opportunity to manipulate those words and to speak the language. Comprehension is also another very important skill for young children as they are beginning to read. When children are able to move through words on a page faster, they spend less time. When they're able to read and decode words fluently, they spend less time figuring out what words are on a page and more time on what is happening in the story. They're able to focus more on understanding what is being read to them or what they're actually reading. So, those are all very important skills in developing early literacy and early reading in young children. Thank you.